The word cult,
Hmm.
is that a word that you, because you're using it a lot right now, but I mean, I also hear like high control group being used a lot
Yeah.
more. Is it just
Yeah.
because like that word can be kind of damaging, or it kind of
Well,
automatically puts a thought in people's minds that it's a certain thing?
there's a long history to that, and some of that has to do with there are a group of academics who we call cult apologists, who
Oh,
are primarily scholars of religion or sociologists of religion, and they basically defend the cults. They go to court to defend. I mean, they try to keep people like me from testifying in court cases.
hmm.
They do campaigns to the journalists to say don't use the word cult and don't use the word brainwashing, and so they started out saying, well, using the word cult has a negative context, and they're the ones who actually I think really promoted that. But we call gangs gangs, so let's call cults cults. There's a long history of understanding what these groups are in
Hmm.
sociology, in psychology, in anthropology, and to deny the use of that word is, I think, unfortunate. But I think over time, a number of people have started using other words like high control group or high demand group, um, which I think is a little problematic. And because, you can say I'm in a soccer club and it's a high demand group, right? We do exercises all the time. We do practices.
Yeah, got to work out
So
every day.
yeah, what does that mean, a high demand group? Where I think when you use the word cult as it should be understood, it means a group where there's a certain degree of manipulation and exploitation going on, and
Hmm.
taking advantage of the members of that group. So I stick with the word. I don't care. I've been sued a few times. I
Yeah.
got through it. They lost, so I
Well,
just think,
I've heard
you know,
that like people might use the word cult to describe a certain or a religious group.
that they don't like.
Well, but people might use that word as a way of as a justification for like violence against that group or something.
Um, I suppose that happens. I don't know. I don't. I guess if you had some specific examples, we could talk about that. But we can look at the Branch Davidian example, right?
Sure.
The Waco, right? So they were told that they were hoarding arms. They were arming themselves, so
Hmm.
they went in to investigate. That was justifiable, and in fact, they were. Now,
Yeah.
what happened was horrible, and unfortunately, things probably went a little wrong. Certainly, I'm not saying the FBI or the ATF or whoever did exactly the right thing,
Yeah.
but come on, Koresh could have let his people out. I
Hmm.
hold him as the one accountable for those deaths. Or you look at what happened in Jonestown. I mean, the congressman went there to investigate, and people wanted to leave, and that was not acceptable to
Yeah.
Jones. And they'd been practicing those suicides for,
Yeah.
for a long time, fake ones, but they called them white knights, and they were drills. Like,
Hmm.
if this happens, are you going to drink the potion? So, are these actions justifiable? In most cases, yes. Certainly, the term shouldn't just be thrown at any old group so that we can go and invade them, but I'm not sure there's a whole lot of examples of that really happening.